Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday Russian forces lost up to a battalion of infantry during battles in the Kursk region this week. Speaking in an evening address, Zelensky claimed the battalion included both North Korean soldiers and Russian paratroopers. He added the losses were predominantly during 2 days of fighting in the past week. Months after Ukraine's shock offensive in the Kursk region, Russia has been on the offensive, leaving Ukrainian troops bloodied and demoralized. Since being caught unaware by the lightning Ukrainian incursion, Russia has amassed more than 50,000 troops in the region, including some from its ally North Korea. Precise numbers are hard to obtain, but Moscow's counterattack has killed and wounded thousands, and the overstretched Ukrainians have lost more than 40% of the 984 square kilometers of Kursk they seized in August. During his address, Zelensky also announced plans for meetings with international allies at the U.S. airbase in Ramstein, Germany, this week. He said the talks would focus on moves to strengthen Ukraine's air defenses. Dozens of partner countries will participate, including those capable of boosting our defense not only against missiles but also against guided bombs and Russian aircraft, he said.
Зараз вже готуємось до зустрічі в Рамштайні. На цей тиждень запланована зустріч. Десятки країн-партнерів, і серед них є ті, хто може збільшити нашу спроможність не тільки у захисті від ракет, але й у захисті від керованих бомб, від російської авіації. Будемо про це з ними говорити, будемо переконувати, життя потребує захисту тут і зараз в Україні. І системи ППО мають для цього працювати. Головком доповів також по ситуації в Курській області, зокрема, в боях сьогодні та вчора в районі тільки одного села Махновка на Курщині російська армія втратила до батальйону піхоти північно-корейських солдатів і російських десантників. І це відчутно.
The January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol seemed like it would immediately change the course of history. But inside the Capitol building, reminders of the violence that occurred are increasingly hard to find. Lawmakers in both parties rarely mention the attack, and many Republicans try to downplay it, echoing President-elect Donald Trump's claims that the carnage of the day is overblown. For some of the law enforcement officers who worked on January 6, the memories of what they endured remain. Congress passed a law in March of 2022 to require an honorific plaque listing the names of all of the officers who responded to the violence on that day. The architect of the Capitol was ordered to obtain the plaque within a year and permanently place it on the Capitol's western front, where the worst of the fighting took place. But almost 3 years later, there is no plaque. And it's unclear why, or who is responsible for it. Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer and then Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell signed off on the plaque, according to a Senate leadership aide familiar with the process. House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries has also been supportive. But a spokesman for House Speaker Mike Johnson did not respond to requests for comment.
A couple people held me down while one person reached underneath the visor on my helmet and tried to gouge out my eye with his thumb. I can still hear the screaming in the video from my body-worn camera when he's doing it. The memorial plaque for the officers who fought to defend democracy on January 6th, I think it's incredibly important, just not only for posterity, but for the other officers who, don't get the kind of attention I have. I've gotten more than my fair share of accolades, but I want them to feel like they've earned a place here.
In the first launch of 2025, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launched the Thuraya 4 satellite on Friday to a geostationary transfer orbit. It was done on behalf of Yahsat, a telecommunications company and satellite service provider based in the United Arab Emirates. The launch was from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in the U.S. state of Florida.
Go Falcon, go Thuraya.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. And windy, chamber pressures are not well.
Force station in Florida. During ascent, we tilt the engines, or gimbal the engines, and that turns the rocket
Power and telemetry
horizontally
nominal.
in what we call a gravity turn. We're still going up, but now we're also heading horizontally away from the launch pad. Moments ago, we throttled the engines down in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is a critical moment during flight
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
because the combined stresses caused by Falcon 9 accelerating through
Max
the
Q.
atmosphere and the ambient static pressure are at their greatest.